Hi. So in this episode, I need to come up with a different name for these. We're going to install NextCloud on the server which we just built in the previous one. So let's look for NextCloud. Install. Download server. I'm going to go with the all-in-one Docker image. So let's put that out of the way. It says let's install Docker. Okay. And let's go. Okay, so that's Docker installed. And we are going to run it rootless. So I don't want it getting hacked. So let's run this command. Oops. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So I just need to install this. Okay, let's try that again. So that's now running rootless. And okay, I will add that if I need to. Okay, so we've installed Docker. Now we need to install NextCloud. And rather than install the plain vanilla one, there's a couple of changes which I'm going to make. The first one is I'm not going to use the standard directory to store the data files in. So normally they would be stored within the container itself, within a directory within a container. But I want to be able to back them up incrementally to my backup server. So I'm going to define the data directory as external to the container. So I need to make a directory on the server and then tell NextCloud to use that for its data directory. The other thing I need to do, but I can do that afterwards, is to create my own skeleton directory, the default directory structure that a person gets when they log on, because I don't like the standard one, and it comes with a whole lot of dummy photographs which I don't want on there as well. So first thing to do is to create the directory. So let's create let's make a directory called cloud in the root. Okay. There's a directory called cloud. So now we have to define that we have to tell Docker about it. So we do sudo docker volume create driver local, so it's a local file, name NextCloud underscore AIO underscore NextCloud underscore data directory, and then dash a series of options slash cloud, type device equals cloud, type equals none, equals blind. So that's the command. Okay, so that's done it. Now we need to set permissions on this. Change owner dash cloud. Okay, and the next one, chmod dash r 750. Okay, so that sets permissions on that directory. We've created it. We've told the cloud about it. Sorry, we've told Docker about it. We've created that reference. So now we need to start it up. So I'm not going to type this in because it's very long. The command to run this on a window to install it. That's the command from the website web page, which I think is fairly self-explanatory. But there's just one. Now we need to add in an override for that change data directory, which is here. Now, don't do as I did and put the override on the end, because it has to come, because it's an option, it has to come before all the extra parameters. So that needs to go there. It's very tempting to put it at the end here, but it doesn't work. It ignores it. Well, it comes back. It does the whole thing, and then it looks at that and says, "Oh, there was an invalid command at the end of it," and then it takes ages to go through and delete all the little bits and everything that's there. So don't forget that. Okay, so let's go. Okay, it should start up the containers. Okay. Thing is running. Okay, so in this we need to fix. So let's go to this web page. Control C. Oops. Control insert. Okay, so the next thing to do is to modify the skeleton directory. We need to get into the container to do that. So Let's list running containers. Okay, so in fact this isn't properly started yet. Okay, so we've got the software installed now. If we do sudo docker ps, this shows us that we've got, this is the startup container waiting to start. So what we need to do is try and log in to the server, and that will complete the initialization, or trigger the initialization. So https forward the IP address, which is 192.168.20.255. No, 20.201. Oops. Windows, copy. Colon 8080. Well, and there's the login screen. Okay, just to let you know, this is a test instance I've got here, so this is the password. I can't be bothered to go through the hassle of blanking it out. This is not my password. So right, let's take a note of that, just in case I need it for some other admin. Just save that over there, and open NextCloud login. Enter that password. And let's have a look here. There we go. First, so that's the master container there. Now it's doing the domain check, so it's not come in from the outside. So it knows it's initializing. And basically we just wait and wait. For it to start up. Yeah. Okay. So this says there's a master container update. So let's update it. Okay, well, we'll wait here for a while. I'll pause this and restart as soon as it's done. It's not very quick to do an update. We've got running here. So we've got Watchtower. Now we've got domain check and master container. Oh, okay, that was really quick. Okay, so we're running version 6. So what you need to do here is enter your domain name that you're going to use to access the cloud server from the internet. So I need to do that now. Okay, so I've just made an entry in my DNS settings. So we put in the address there. Right, there we go. So that's reached out, validated, and created a certificate. Now, what additional components do I want? So I don't want NextCloud Office. I don't want that. I don't want that. Save changes. And now update the containers and then start them. And we wait. And while we wait, let's have a look at this. Okay, so Redis database. So they're slowly starting up, downloading and updating. Okay, let's wait. There we go. So it's now updated them all, and it started them. They aren't all running started yet or running. So just give it a minute for them all to start. Part3 one's running a little slow. You'll notice it just keeps refreshing by itself. It'll keep doing that for a while. And I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes or so, and then it stops and you have to click reload and it'll start again. Okay, there's NextCloud itself. It says unhealthy. Not quite sure what that means. We'll give it a little while and see what happens. Nothing looks too untoward there. Oh, there you go. NextCloud's now running. Oh, and there's Apache. Excellent. Right. Now, this is really important. Take a note of your admin user ID and save that. And your admin password. Right, save that somewhere safe. That probably isn't the best place to save it, but I'm just making the point of saving it somewhere. So now we can go and open our actual, well, let's have a look in here first. So there's our containers all up and running, 4 containers, and then the master container, which is where the admin is, which is the, not the admin, kind of watches it and tracks it. We've got the Apache server there, so running 443. And this admin container's got 8080 on it, and 8443, and 80. So let's go back, open your net, let's have a look here actually. So there we've got that. What do we have in the cloud directory? Right, so that's no longer empty. We've now got an admin folder. We've got this audit log, files, index.ini, lost and found, log, and a temp. So let's have a look at this admin user. Right. So this is the actual admin user directory. It's got a directory under it called files, and then we've got documents and some sample files and what have you. So this is what we're going to change. But we'll just go and have a look now. So let's log in. Okay, so I think the problem with this is a DNS propagation problem. So I'm going to leave this for a minute while that sorts itself out. So let's just go in, and what we need to do is, I did hope I could show these. We need to go in and change this template directory anyway, so let's go ahead and set up our own template directory for when we add new users. So first things first, we need to get into this Docker container. So now we're inside the NextCloud Docker container. This is the root directory. Well, actually, no, it's not. It's this directory. So let's go to config. What am I? What's wrong with that directory? Oh, I don't. Idiot. Okay, so there's the. It's not in the root. It's in this directory that we're already in. Right. So config.php is what we want to modify, and we don't we don't have nano. cd config I config.php. We have phi. We don't have nano. Okay. So now we need to scroll down to, and we need to go to somewhere here, I think. let's insert this here. And we are going to insert mode, have a new line, and we will put in skeleton directory equals nc slash skeleton slash. Okay, I think that is it. Now, can I remember how to get out of this? Escape. And then exclamation mark. No. No, I can never remember this. I'm gonna have to look it up. So it's colon. Okay, so colon. There we go. Q. No. WQ. Right and quit. Okay. So now let's exit this. No, let's not exit that yet. So if we list MNT NC data where we just specified that destination, we can see this is mapping straight out to the directory that's the cloud directory. So let's exit this and we will do ms/cloud. Yeah, there we go. You can see it's exactly the same directory. It's mapping straight out. So we need to make a directory called template. No, what was it? Skeletons. Skeleton. So let's okay. Let's do this a different way. Make directory cloud skeleton. Okay. Slash. Now let's call this I'm going to, because all of the users of this are going to be Windows users, and I'm going to be mapping the Windows file structure, I'm going to make all the same files as you get under Windows. So we will have, where's a good place to show it? Yeah, anyway, so we will have a documents folder with an uppercase D, because that's what Windows does. Then we will have a desktop folder. We will have downloads. Music. Pictures. And videos. Okay. So that is our Windows directory structure: desktop, documents, downloads, music, pictures, videos. And unfortunately, NextCloud always insists on putting a templates directory in there, so it will add a templates directory, but people will just have to delete that. Okay, so that is that done. Okay, let's see if that DNS has sorted itself up. Okay, so it's fixed. It doesn't like my well, I suspect it doesn't like my change line 89. So let's go back and have a look and see what's wrong with it. And there we go. Double quote. Oops. Insert mode. Insert mode. Single quote. Escape. Colon WQ. Okay, and I don't know how quickly that will pick that up. Let's try again. There we go. Straight away by the looks of it. Let's get our password, which we saved. And this is the admin password, not the system password that was the individual words. And let's log in. Well, hey, we have a cloud server. Right, now this is the thing I don't like. This is why I changed this default skeleton directory. It would have been useful to go in and see this first. But you come in and it's created these folders for you, but it's got this nextcloud.ping and it's got an introduction and a manual for it. Nobody needs to see these things. So you don't want these on all your individual users. So let's just go in and add a user, and we can see how that comes out. So let's new user, Fred blogs password. Oh, and add new user. Yeah. Okay. So now we've added Fred. So let's log out from here. Actually, let's just check something first. So when you add a new user, so let's come out of this. So there is Fred, user added. And there's nothing in his directory, even though we've added him, and there's a skeleton directory. Because it doesn't actually create any of the files under there until the user first logs on. So you can't do any tidy up or admin until they've actually logged in. So let's go back here, let's log out. And let's log in as Fred. Now this will create his directory structure. And let's see what we get. That's that. And here we go. The annoying templates directory, but downloads, pictures, videos, desktop documents. So that's all those template skeleton directory that I just created, and these will all be empty. So I didn't put anything in there. But you could pre-populate this with something if you wanted to, something that was applicable to your environment. But that's entirely up to you. Right, so the next thing I want to do is, as a home cloud server, to install. Okay, yeah. So this is I'm no longer admin now, so I need to log out. Anyway, let's just check over here. So if we do lsthread now, we can see there's a cache and there's files, which is exactly what we had with the admin account earlier. There's a subdirectory of files. There was no cache there because at the time admin hadn't logged on. We can check that one as well. And then here's the folders that we just created. So we could remove that templates folder now if we wanted to. It's entirely up to you, or leave it to the users to remove it as they want. So let's just have a quick look at that admin one. So let's put it there, and there we go. Now suddenly, if we look up here, files, oh no, that's not the one. Let's look at admin. There we go. There's a cache directory there now, whereas there wasn't before. It's just pooped off the page. Let's go back a bit. Where is it? Yeah, so look at admin. Yeah, all we had there was files, and we looked in files. There was all those there. Now we've got this cache one because we've logged on. Okay. Now there's all sorts of things you can do, but let's log out of here. First thing I want to do is because this is a home server, you can use it for anything really. Apps. I'm gonna create shared folders. Where is it? Group folders. Group folders. Here we go. Download and enable. Admin configures folders shared with everyone in a group. Folders can be configured. You can set up a local admin if you want to, but I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do, download and enable this group folders feature. And basically what this does is it creates, so each one of those folders that we just saw, documents, downloads and what have you, they're all private to each individual user. But what this is going to allow us to do, I'm assuming is now at the top somewhere. Where is it here? Apps. Where's group folders? So let's go over here. So if we look here, so here, there's nothing here. Documents, photos, no group folders here. So let's go to admin settings. Now that we've added that, we come down here, group folders. Now I can set up one called photo album, create, and add group. There's no group at the moment, so we need to add a group. So let's come over here, users, add a group. I'm just calling this all users, but it doesn't mean all users. I now have to add each user to it individually. And 2 users are defined. Oh, I can't remember how to do this. Oh, okay, no, I remember now. Active users, so I can add them to the group here. So this admin user is in admin groups. So why can't I add active users? Hold on. Go back to administration. Go back to group folders. Groups. Yeah, active users doesn't come up. So all users is now there as an option. Quotas unlimited. Yeah, so these, but you can't select active users as the members of the group. So all users still has no actual members in it. So if we come back to here, my files, we'll see nothing here. There's no change. So if we come back now again to admin settings and down to group folder, no, admin settings and users. Who's the users? So we'll modify admin and add them to all users. And remember to tick that, and then we'll come in here and add Fred to all users. Now let's go into my files display and have a look. And suddenly we have this new folder here called Photo Album, which is shared between the two users. And if we have a look here, you can see we've got a new folder here called Group Folders. And we've got a 1, and there's nothing in it. So this is the first group folder. The group folders are numbered. So let's just go and put something in it. Let's go back to our files. Let's pick up a photo from here called Birdie. Let's or copy to photo album. Let's move it. So that's now gone from there. And if we have a look in the shared folder photo album, there we see birdie.jpg. If we have a look here, we will see birdie.jpg. So you can see as we're putting things into this cloud directory, it's appearing in physical folders on the local disk. So this gives us the ability now to back these up and restore them and whatever needs doing. So next step. Well, actually, let me just check if there's anything else to do, but I think that is it. Right, so that is it for the cloud setup. What you can do is go in and look at these apps and work out what other ones you might want to activate. Monitoring, number of users, provides monitoring. Just go in and look at them up, look up the details online, search them, and decide which ones you want to use. That monitoring's already there. Okay, so and there are other ones you can find. Weather status, so that's already there. External storage support. We're already using that, so let's just log in. Anyway, you can go and look. So this is active app. Yeah, featured apps. There's loads and loads of these. Lots of people have written them. They're all grouped by different things. You can download multimedia, new stuff, smart tagging. You might want to do that. You might want it with video chat. I haven't enabled it. Anyway, so that's the cloud setup done. There's a couple of final things to do. One is to just go through the DNS setup, and the other one is to install the local client on your PC and on your phones to enable you to get access to it. So let's go ahead and do that. But this is the core of the server is now complete. Okay, so I'm going to go through now installing the client for a Windows PC and defining a user and seeing how that works. So if we click here, we've got no NextCloud client running. So I'm logged on here as the administrator. So let's go over here and create a new user for me. There's not enough space in there. And if you're setting this up for your users, I would leave the password blank. Enter the password, put them in the users group. Don't do any admins, and I'm not having quotas, so add new user. And this doesn't update for some reason. So you wait a while, you think it hasn't worked, and eventually it comes back. So there's my new user that I've just added. Now that's this over here. And now let's try and log in. Actually, no, first of all, let's download the client. Download and install. Download for desktop. Drop that down. So I'm going Windows 10 64-bit. Starts downloading. Open file. Next. Next. Install. Okay. So because it's updating Explorer, so because it's mapping drives and what have you, or appearing as a drive, it wants to shut these down. So we'll say OK and see what happens. Unable to automatically close. We'll have to do reboot. Okay. Okay. Do not close. Reboot is required. And even though it says I had to reboot, it says launch NextCloud. Okay, click finish. Okay, so it says it must I don't know. Let's give it a go and see what happens. So let's say log in, and we're going to do the server name. Now it wants to authorize through the browser. So click login. Oh, I'm logged in as admin. Okay, that's annoying. So I don't want to do that. That's that running grey saying please signed in. So let's grab that. And okay, so I've logged out as the admin user. Now, because I didn't set a password, so if you're giving someone an ID, you'll create them and you'll say, right, I've created you an ID. You need to connect to the server and log in. So give them their username. So that's Mr. Jack. Okay, no, yeah, you just use it doesn't matter because I've typed in my email address. So I click forgot password. Account name and email is Mr. Jack, and I do reset password because I've never been allocated when there isn't one. So click reset password. It will then send an email message to the email address associated with Mr. Jack. So that keeps it completely private to the individual that you've created. So I go into my email now. It says do a password reset. So I'm going to reset my password. And it comes up with a little window asking me to enter a password. So I'm just going to do. Now, you need to be careful here because it doesn't actually, right, I've set a password now. It doesn't ask you to repeat that, so you have to get it right the first time. Let's see if I remember that right. Okay, so that's gone in, created me. Let's have a look. So we can see here, if we look at files, it's created all the default Windows files for me here. So I've got documents, downloads, music, pictures, templates. Templates it always creates, and videos. And I've got a shared directory here. So all these ones are private to me, and that's according to the template directory that we created. Let's have a quick look. Okay, that still wants me to reboot. Let's have a quick look. And if we go in here, it's empty. Right. So let's now go and see if we can log in here. Add account. Switch to your browser. We are. Okay, I've got two browsers open. So let's close the other browser. Try that again. Start again. Next. Okay, about to log in. Log in. Grant access. Log in as Mr. Jack. Right. So my client is now connected. So I'll do home. If I go here to files, now have. Okay, hadn't quite finished. So select use files, use virtual files instead of downloading content immediately. So it downloads just a, what's the word, a thumbnail for all of the files which are there. But it doesn't download any of the data until I actually try it. So let's connect. Syncing. So all these number of files it's syncing, they're going to be from that shared directory. Because all the other rest of it is empty. Now you notice just up here, this NextCloud icon appeared. And that's probably not going to come up until that sync job's finished. Where's it going? Yeah, it's going through counting all those files. So you wait a while it goes through and creates a list of all the files that it needs to sync between the two. And you can see here, you created downloads when it logged in, and then it's created these other ones as well. Not sure why it's done them as two separate steps. Maybe it just didn't fit. It's created a calendar and it's created an address book. Right, we'll leave that for a little while it syncs. And there we go. So it's just creating a temporary, all the directory structures. export all of these different files. It's quite quick. Okay, so here we can see it's created now these folders. Even though they're not fully appearing here, it's mirrored these placeholder directories. So here we go. So documents, downloads, music, pictures, templates it hasn't because it's not one that you see here. And then videos. No, I don't want OneDrive. Don't know how to get rid of this OneDrive now though. Still running. The reason it's insisting on rebooting is because I've actually got 2 users logged on here. And a second user logged onto this machine, and it's already configured for NextCloud. So it's detected a conflict between the 2 users, which is also why it's actually working, because it's the same version that's installed in both, well, in the one directory that's being shared between the 2 of them. But I'll probably reboot after it's done this sync, just as everything's all tidied up. So that's nearly done now. There we go. And the green tick, the blue cloud has turned into a green tick. Oh, there you go, and there's the templates one has appeared as well. I think that's synced. So the next thing we can do is, because these are syncing to the cloud, what I do is come in here, Documents folder, right click, Properties, and Location. Change that, say move to NextCloud, Documents, select folder. And you see it exists under Mr. Jack. There's a folder called NextCloud, and it's now in the Documents folder. So that's okay. Move all the existing files, yes. Now that icon changes nicely. And this now points, see here, these all appear. And that's a file that was already in there. Oh yeah, because I downloaded postfix because I was installing the mail server. So that's now the default document folder is being replicated onto the NextCloud. And I did the same with downloads, videos, and here we go, location, move to NextCloud downloads. And we'll see this icon change as well. Yes, there we go. And go through and do the rest of them. Okay, and you'll see it's exactly the same direction, the location rather, but it's with the NextCloud, under the NextCloud subdirectory. That's pictures. Now we got shared and templates, can't do anything with, so videos. We've got to move. And I've got 2 videos directories here. Not that one. Location, move. videos. That's the same location there as the others. The icons change. So that's a shared directory. I can change the properties. Customize. Change the icon if you want to something that indicates it's a shared directory. Let's set it to something like that, or like that, maybe. Or I think that's the one I chose for the family photo album. Yeah, anything that reminds you of what it is. I'm just going to leave that as is. Right, so that is the client installed. And if let's just do Notepad. So let's open Notepad, file, save as, defaults to documents. So I save it as test.txt, save, exit. And now if I come in here in my quick access, I've got documents. There's a file there called test. If I look in my NextCloud, there is my documents folder called test. Download the file. And there it is. It's come down from the server. So that's installing the client, demonstrating. You can see it works. Okay, so there we go. That's the client installation. So I think we'll end this video here. So anyway, next video is going to be configuring and running the backup, and depending on how long that is, I may also include sending notifications as well to show how that's gone on. But yeah, that's the end of this video. All right, thanks, bye.